Mrs. Shobana Subramanian graduated with a gold medal and additionally was the best outgoing student in her Bachelor's of Architecture batch. Mrs. Shobana, working as a senior architect at the Engineering Design Research Centre, L&T Construction, India's largest construction company. She has worked on various projects including hospitals, office buildings, residential, recreational to institutional projects. She has also attended 4 national conferences, 1 international conference and an international Indo-French workshop initiated by the UN Heritage on the urban morphology and architectural typology of the Karekudi heritage, Chettinad.
Welcome to UGC lecture series for B Architecture. In this lecture, we will be looking at the subject Building Materials 2, Unit 1, Lecture 2, Bricks. In this lecture, we will be looking at the manufacturing process of the brick, which includes preparation of the clay, molding, drying, burning, and we will look at how to store and stack bricks. Preparation of the clay was covered in the previous lecture. So, in this lecture, we will be looking at molding and the further processes. 4 main steps in manufacturing is preparing the clay, molding, drying and burning. Preparing the clay, we had unsoiling, digging, weathering and blending, tempering. So, at the end of the preparation of clay, we have a well blended clay in hand. Now, with this clay, we will go to the next step of molding. Now, molding is of 2 types. You have hand molding and machine molding. In hand molding is for the 2 types, ground molded and table molding, and machine molding has plastic clay machines and dry clay machines. So, let us look at hand molding. In hand molding, as the name suggests, the bricks are molded by hand, that is, they are done manually. It is adopted where manpower is cheap and is readily available, and also the yield of bricks is not too much, as in it is a small scale requirement. The molds that are used are rectangular boxes. They are made out of wood or metal. Wood is the most preferred mold type. If you see in plan, it looks like this. You have the 2 longer edges and the shorter edges. The 2 longer edges are projected further to create handles to hold the mold for easy workability of the molder. A typical wooden mold should be prepared from well seasoned wood. Why do you need well seasoned wood? Because wood has a characteristic of absorbing water. So, and the mold clay, the brick earth has water in it. So, the wood should not absorb water and thus compromise on the structural ability or strength of the final product brick. So, that is why you should use well seasoned wood. Now, like I said, the longer sides are kept slightly projected outwards to serve as handles. To keep this mold in place or in the shape, you use metal or steel, or sometimes strips of brass or steel to keep the mold in shape. The frogs, like we discussed in the previous lecture, a wooden piece is provided inside the mold, which creates the frog in the bricks. Now, to do the ground molding, first the ground is prepared. It is levelled and then fine sand is spread on it. This sand absorbs any ambient moisture from the ground below. Also, it provides a levelled ground for the molding to be done. Now, this wooden mold is taken and first dipped in the water. Then, a lump of tempered clay is taken and thrown into the mold. With the force and throwing action of the clay, what happens is the clay fills out all the corners of the mold, such that when the molded brick has a proper mold shape that is similar to the mold. After it is thrown, the clay is then pressed into the mold and pressed such that all the voids are filled. Now, there will be extra and surplus clay which is removed from a equipment called wooden strike. Wooden strike is nothing, it is similar to a knife with a sharp edge. With it, the extra clay from top of the mold is removed. The mold is then lifted up and the raw brick is left on the ground. The mold is again dipped in water and it is placed near the previously molded brick. Now, again the process of throwing the tempered clay and molding is done, and this process is repeated till you get the required number of bricks. Now, it is suggested to dip the mold in the water between each molds, but in practice it is not feasible. So, usually the mold is dipped in the water after every 5 to 6 molds. Now, this in ground molded bricks, what happens is the lower face of the ground molded bricks are rough because it was molded on sand, yes. So, the texture of the sand comes on bottom of the bricks. It is not possible to get a smooth finish, smooth bottom surface for these bricks. Ground molded bricks are of better quality, and with the frogs on the surface are made by using a pair of pallet boards and a wooden block. Now, in this image you can see a worker molding the bricks. He has a wooden mold in his hand. These are the molds. You can see how the molds are, the brick are arranged nearby, and as he molds, the molder also keeps moving along the, as he molds, the molder also keeps moving. You see the name of the company on top of the bricks. This also functions as a frog. So, nowadays that is what the companies, brick manufacturing companies are doing. They also imprint the name of the company into the frogs. Now, we will see a small video how the ground molding is being done. We saw the video of how the ground molding is done. Now, we will see table molding. So, table molding is also a form of hand molding. It is very similar to a hand molding, but it is done on top of a table. In table molding, the molder stands near a table of size 2 meter into 1 meter. The clay, mold, water pot, stock board, strikes, pallet boards and everything is placed on his table for his he can easily take it and use it. Now, these bricks are molded on table and sent for the further process of drying. What's the difference between table molding and ground molding? The efficiency of the molder in the table molding process decreases with time because the molder is standing in one place and doing. So, with time his efficiency decreases, whereas in ground molding the efficiency does not decrease because the molder keeps moving along with the bricks as the bricks keeps molding. Also, the cost of molding in a table molding also increases because you require more equipments when compared to ground molding. Now, molding, machine molding. Machine molding, as the name suggests, molding is done by the machine. This machine molding proves to be economical when the bricks, number of bricks in demand is huge, and these are to be manufactured at the same spot in a short time. So, it is also helpful for molding hard and strong clay, which is not very easy to manipulate with hand. So, in those conditions, machine molding is considered an advantage. These machines are broadly classified into two types. The first is plastic clay machines. Now, in this machine, only the molding is done by the machine. The clay, the well tempered clay is feeded into the machine, and the machine then sends out a molded strip of molded clay with the desired height and width, and then it gets wire cut to the desired sizes. So, because of this process, the brick is also called wire cut bricks. So, the process is as follows. The pugged clay or well tempered clay is placed in the machine, and as it comes out through the opening of the machine, it is cut into strips by wires fixed in frames. Arrangement is made in such a way that strips of thickness equal to that of bricks are obtained. So, like I said, these bricks are also called wire cut bricks as they are cut by wire. Now, dry clay machines. Dry clay machines process is very similar to the plastic clay machine. Only difference is the clay that is being fed into the machine. For plastic clay machine, you have the well tempered clay that is being fed into the machine. But what happens in dry clay is the clay, well tempered clay is first let out to dry and converted into powder form. Then before feeding it into the machine, the clay is mixed with water and then fed into the machine. The clay comes out in a long strip and then it is wire cut into desired sizes. Now, these bricks are also known as pressed bricks. Bricks that is gone through the dry clay machines do not require the drying process because the clay before feeding into the machine was dried earlier. So, The next process of drying is not required for these bricks, and these bricks can be directly sent into the kilns to be burnt. Now, the wire cut and pressed bricks have regular shape, sharp edges and corners. They have smooth external surfaces. They are heavier and stronger than ordinary hand molded bricks, and they also carry distinct frogs and exhibit uniform dense textures. Now, we will go to the next process of drying. What is drying? Drying is basically these molded bricks are left into the air to dry. Why drying is required? The damp bricks, if burnt, are likely to be cracked and distorted. Hence, these molded bricks need to be dried before they are taken to the next operation of burning. And drying is usually done in stacks. Bricks are arranged in stacks. The bricks are laid longitudinally in stacks of width equal to 2 bricks, and a stack consists of either 8 or 10 tiers. The bricks are first laid along like this, and then the next layer is laid like this. So, first the bricks are laid like this and the next layer is laid like horizontally. All bricks are placed on their edges. There are two types of drying. One is drying in naturally in air or artificial drying. Now, drying can be either done artificially or naturally. Naturally means the bricks that are stacked properly are covered and let to dry under shade. In artificial drying, what happens is these bricks, molded bricks, are put into tunnels and subjected to 120 degrees Celsius of heat for about 1 to 3 days. So, they dry faster than naturally dried bricks. While drying, we should make sure that there is a good amount of circulation of air between these different stacks, such that the bricks get uniformly dried, and it should not be like one face of the bricks dries faster than the other portion. It will lead to warping and distortion of the bricks shape. Also, for the drying yard, special consideration has to be given. Special yards have to be prepared, and these yards are given at a slightly higher level than the ground level, such that in case there is any rain, it will not affect the stacks. Also, if there is any ambient moisture available in the ground, it will not seep into the molded bricks. Period of drying, usually it is about 3 to 10 days it takes for the bricks to become dry. Screens, yes, screens are very necessary. These screens are used to cover the bricks and they protect the bricks from direct exposure to sun or wind or any other atmospheric factors. The next stage of manufacturing of bricks is burning. This is the most important stage, because this is the most important stage of the manufacturing of bricks. Now, burning of these molded bricks is done through clamps or kilns. So, clamps was the most primitive way of doing it, the most initial way of burning bricks before the kilns were invented. In burning, it is very important to burn the bricks properly, because proper burning imparts good hardness, strength, and makes the brick dense and durable. Burning of clamps. Now, burning in clamp, you see image in front of you. This is a typical section of a clamp. Now, in this you see there is alternate layers of bricks and fuel. You see the bricks here and then a fuel here, brick here and then fuel here. And the whole thing is covered with a thick layer of earth. And there are holes provided here to light up the fuel. So, they are used in brick making. These clamps are used in brick making on a large scale, and continuous supply of bricks has to be kept up. Usually, the clamps can be either rectangular or circular. Rectangular clamp is more commonly used in southern part of India. Before constructing the clamp, the site is first leveled up and consolidated, and all the impurities from the top layer is removed, and then this clamp is constructed with alternate layers of fuel and brick. A trench is cut out around the clamp to catch in any rainwater which may otherwise get into the flues. So, like I said before, there are flues provided. Flues are basically openings to insert fuel and take out burnt fuel, or burn the fuel. Now, inside these clamps, the fuel burn and thus burn the bricks as well. The degree of heat is maintained or controlled by removing and inserting fuel. Once the brick is all burnt, the holes contraption is removed, the earth is removed, the bricks are taken out. Before taking out the bricks, the whole clamp is allowed to cool down. Once it is cooled down, the earth is removed and the burned bricks are taken out. Burning in kilns. Nowadays, kilns is the most widely used equipment to burn bricks and get a large quantity of bricks. Kiln is nothing but a large oven, and there are two types of kilns, intermittent and continuous. Under continuous, there are again several different types of kilns that is used, but the majorly and most commonly used types of kilns are Bull's Trench kiln, Hofmann kiln and tunnel kiln. Now, we look at intermittent kiln. Intermittent kiln, as the name suggests, is intermittent, which means they are the bricks in them are loaded, fired, cooled and unloaded. So, there is no continuous process of bricks being burnt and loaded, unloading and loading. So, once you load the bricks, it is burnt and the whole kiln has to cool down, and then the burnt bricks are unloaded. And if you see the plan of an intermittent kiln here. It is majorly rectangular and a very simple structure. You have an outer wall, and then you have alternate rows of bricks and fuel. You have fuel flues, which are holes through which the fuel is loaded and unloaded, and then you have a door on the sides for loading and unloading the brick. The bricks that is to be fired is first placed inside the kiln, and then the kiln is both the doors ends of the kiln is closed and completely sealed off, and then fuel is loaded through these flue holes, and then it is fired. Now, after the firing is completed, both the kiln and the brick along with the fuel is allowed to cool down. After everything is cooled down, the brick is removed and the kiln is cleaned, and the next cycle begins. Traditionally, intermittent kiln was nothing more than a trench dug into the ground, filled with a fuel source and unfired pots. Intermittent kiln may be either rectangular or circular in shape, but mostly rectangular is used. Intermittent kiln can only be used when the demand for the bricks is not as high. When the demand for bricks is high and you have to do a large scale production, then continuous kilns are used. Now, in continuous kilns, let's look at Bull's Trench kiln first. Bull's Trench kiln can be rectangular, circular or oval in shape. For the easy workability and easy loading and unloading, mostly oval shapes are used. This trench is excavated in the ground, so it is partially underground and partially above the ground. Openings in the outer walls, you see the plan here. So, this is a Bull's Trench kiln's plan. In elevation, it looks like this. You can see it is partially underground and partially above the ground. There is an outer wall and there is an inner wall. These walls are also constructed out of brick only, and you have flue holes that to insert the fuels, and this kiln is separated into various sections using iron plates. These iron plates are called dampers. So, this divides the kiln into several suitable sections. Kiln is the most widely used in India, and it requires around 1 day to burn. So, how the burning happens in this? Let us get into that. You see, in the section of the kiln, there is a chimney provided. The brick that is to be burned is first inserted into any of the sections. For example, it is inserted into section 2, and then the fuel is also inserted through the fuel holes. Chimney, usually Bull's Trench kiln is provided with 2 chimneys which are movable. So, once the bricks are inserted, the top is covered with earth, and then the fuel is inserted, and then it is burnt. So, if there is to control the heat inside the kiln, there are 2 things that is done. One is they insert fuel or remove fuel to control the heat. The second thing is they move the chimney to that suitable section of the kiln to remove excess of hot air. So, this chimney will be, if the chimney is here somewhere, it will be moved here on top of the section 2 to remove the excess of heat, to control the heat inside the kiln. So, once the section 2 brick is burnt, the brick is allowed to cool down, but this ensures that the other sections are not much affected. Now, in this kiln, the advantage is you can burn bricks in section 2, section 4, section 3, section 5, all of them at continuously. So, once the bricks in section 2 is burnt, you can remove them, and you do not have to worry about the section 3 or 4 or 5 bricks in the section 3, 4, 5 being burnt or not. If the section 2 is done, you can allow the brick to cool down and remove it. So, in this way the kiln can process or burn bricks continuously. That is why it is called a continuous kiln. So, for example, if the section 2 brick is burnt and the excess of heat is removed out of the chimney in section 2, then the chimney can be moved to section 3, where newly inserted bricks have been kept. Now, the heat in the chimney will pre-warm the bricks in the section 3. So, this allows the bricks to get used to the burning process. Then you can insert the fuel and start firing it up. Next type of continuous kiln is your Hoffman's kiln. Unlike the Bull's Trench kiln, this kiln is completely on top of ground. So, it is it's also called a flame kiln. It is also rectangular in plan, circular, oval, and mostly used is again circular or oval plans. This kiln also is divided into several compartments and sections like Bull's Trench kiln. Only difference is there are more permanent divisions, and this unlike the Bull's Trench kiln, which had iron dampers for divisions, and these iron dampers can move to reduce the size of a section or increase the size of a section. In Bull's Trench, in Hoffman's kiln, you have brick walls as dividers, and they make they make separate compartments. You have a permanent roof on top of this kiln, and this kiln can also function during your rainy season. So, I will tell you how this kiln works. So, you see the plan of the kiln, there is an outer wall and there is an inner wall, and these are divided by other brick walls, creating compartments. So, and there are flue holes. If you see the section, it is like this. You see the compartments, and there is a central chimney here, and there are flue holes on top. So, the fuel is inserted from the top, and there are doors on the external brick wall from where the brick is inserted. Now, what happens in this is, this kiln, Hoffman kiln, also burn continuously. I will explain how they burn and how the bricks is removed and new bricks is inserted through this diagram. For example, you see this red portion is the calcining or the burning zone. So, bricks are inserted into these 3 sections and they are burnt. Now, I will tell you how this kiln works. So, you have the kiln here, and you have your central chimney on top. So, there are several different compartments inside the kiln. So, for example, this is the compartment 1, and the bricks is inserted in compartment 1 from the doors provided, and the flues are inserted from the top. So, this compartment 1, they burn the flues, and the brick is burnt. Once the brick is burnt, it is let to dry. At the same time, this compartment, let us name it compartment 2, the bricks are inserted in this compartment 2, and let's assume the day 1 compartment 1 was burning, day 2 they inserted bricks in compartment 2, and the compartment 2 is burning now. So, the day 1 the bricks have been burned and it is now let to dry. So, the heat from this compartment will pass on to this compartment and pre-warm the bricks of compartment 2, and then after the bricks are pre-warmed, it is also lighted up. And the excess of heat from compartment 1 travels to the central core and then travels out through the chimney. Same thing happens for compartment 2, and probably day 3 the bricks in compartment 3 are getting burnt and are being inserted for burning. So, the heat from the compartment 2 heats up, pre-warms the bricks on the newly inserted bricks in compartment 3. So, in such a way, and by day 3 possibly the brick in compartment 1 has already cooled down and can be removed, but still this compartment 2 bricks are in the process of cooling down. So you see the bricks can be continuously burnt and loaded and unloaded and removed, and the heat from the previously fired up compartments can help in warming up the compartments that are being newly filled up. The main difference between Hoffman kiln and your Bull's Trench kiln are the way the main difference between Hoffman's kiln and Bull's Trench kiln is the way the fuel is inserted, or where the flue holes are provided. In Bull's Trench kiln, the flue holes are provided in the outside wall, while the Hoffman kiln flue holes are provided on top. So the fuels is inserted from top. So that also tells how the fuel is loaded. Fuel is loaded from top, and in Bull's Trench kiln it is loaded from the sides. The roof, the Bull's Trench kiln does not have a permanent roof. Every time the brick is loaded in one section, it is covered with earth, while the Hoffman kiln has permanent roof at all times. And the placement on the ground, the Bull's Trench kiln is partially in the ground, partially over ground, while the Hoffman kiln is completely above the ground. And finally, the chimneys, and Bull's Trench kiln has 2 movable chimneys that move to the various sections as per the requirement, while Hoffman kiln has only one central chimney. Also, Hoffman kiln has one advantage, that it can function during the rain, because the rain is not going to affect the bricks burning inside by entering through the chimney. The main difference between Bull's Trench kiln and Hoffman kiln is the location of the flues. In Hoffman kiln, the flues are provided on top. So, and in Bull's Trench kiln, the flues are provided on the sides. So, this also dictates how the fuel is loaded. So, Hoffman kiln fuel is loaded from the top, while Bull's Trench kiln fuel is loaded from the sides. And the next difference is the roof. The Bull's Trench roof does not contain a permanent roof. Every time a section is filled up with molded bricks, it is covered with earth, while Hoffman kiln has a permanent roof. And the next difference is the way they are placed on the ground. Bull's Trench kiln is partially below ground and partially above the ground, while Hoffman kiln is completely above the ground. And chimneys. Bull's Trench kiln has 2 chimneys which can be moved around based on the requirement where the brick is being burnt, while Hoffman kiln has only 1 chimney, and that is centrally placed, and that serves all the various compartments. Because of this, Hoffman kiln can also function during the rain, because the rain is not going to enter and affect the burning bricks through the chimney. But in Bull's Trench kiln, the rain can if it's rain, the rainwater may enter through the chimney and affect the burning of the kiln. So, Bull's Trench kiln cannot function when it's raining. And the third type of kiln, continuous kiln, which is more widely used, is tunnel kiln. Tunnel kiln is very simple. It's basically a very long tunnel. This type of kiln is in the form of a long tunnel, which may be straight or circular or oval in plan. Mostly straight kiln is preferred because of the easy loading and easy unloading. Raw bricks, how this kiln works is, now let us see how this kiln works. Now, raw bricks are placed in trolleys and then moved along the tunnel. Raw bricks are placed in trolleys and then moved from one end of the tunnel to the next end of the tunnel. These raw bricks get dried and preheated as they approach the zone of fire. In the zone of fire, the bricks are burnt, and then to the degree that they require to be burnt to, and then pushed toward the cooling zone. Now, when these bricks are sufficiently cooled, they are unloaded from the other side of the tunnel. Now, this kiln provides to be economical when the bricks are manufactured on large scales, and also it gives a continuous supply of bricks. The temperature, as temperature is under control in this kiln, uniform bricks of better quality are produced. So, summarizing the manufacturing of bricks, first the clay is digged out of soil, then it is cleaned, and then it is molded by hand or machines, and if it is machine, then it is wire cut, and then the process of drying, which can be either naturally dry or artificially dried, and then after drying comes the burning of the bricks in the kiln. There are again continuous kiln, intermittent kilns. After the kiln is burned, they are sent for packaging and transport to the site where the brick is required. Now, can you answer the following questions based on what you have understood from this lecture? These questions are: why can't we use the top layer of soil for the brick earth? And what are the different methods of tempering? Explain the importance of tempering. And finally, a very general question: do you know any other types of kilns that are used to burn bricks? With this, we are finishing this lecture. Thank you.